Good evening and welcome to the January 16th council meeting. We have a very special treat this evening. I'd like to invite up Troop 201 this evening. They're going to lead us in the flag salute, so if you'd please stand. We have Nicholas Sanchez, who's actually going to lead the flag salute.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, members of the audience, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Would you like to introduce your troop, please?
Sure. So we're Troop 201, and we're right around the corner on B Street. And I'm Nicholas Sanchez. I am a life rank right now.
My name's Kyle Chen, and I'm life.
My name's Austin Moverstead, and I'm first class.
My name's Samuel Taylor, and I'm second class.
My name is Philly Olasba, and I'm tenderfoot.
My name is Keith Kobayashi, and I'm first class.
And my name is Gil Sanchez, and I'm an assistant scoutmaster. And we've been in Chino since 1926. So in 2 years from now, 100 years in Chino, giving back to community and making great leaders of tomorrow.
Gil, you said you've lived here since 1926. You don't look old enough. Your family, right? Thank you, boys, for being here this evening. Let's give them another hand. Next on our agenda is Business of the Month for January. This month's standout business has redefined what it means to be a community hub, uniting people of diverse ages and backgrounds through respect, unity, and personal growth. More than just a sports center, they have shown remarkable dedication in fostering personal development and community service. For the month of January 2024, we would like to recognize Sector Jiu-Jitsu as our Business of the Month. Will representatives for the company, owner Sean Roberts, please join me up front. Celebrating over a decade of service, Sector Jiu-Jitsu offers self-defense training and fosters confidence, discipline, fitness, and teamwork. Their commitment extends beyond the mat with initiatives like toy drives for Chino Neighborhood House, free lessons for Chino High School adult transition students, an autism spectrum class, and support for local businesses and first responders. In challenging times, such as the recent loss of a student, their compassion shines through community support efforts like GoFundMe campaigns for family support. Originally from Anaheim, Sector Jiu-Jitsu's relocation to Chino has been marked by significant growth, exemplified by their recent move to a larger facility in Chino, underlining their continued commitment to serve and grow with the community. Please join me in congratulating Sector Jiu-Jitsu for being our January 2024 Business of the Month recipient. And I'd like to present you with this plaque of congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
I'll say a few words.
Sure.
Thank you guys for coming. It's a great honor to get this. You know, we went through a lot. We've been in the community for about 13 years. We moved from Pipeline by the Wendy's to the building on Central on March 2020, we signed the lease. So we've made it through the pandemic, and we're still going strong. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for all that you do for our young people and the rest of the community. I know it means a great deal to people to have you there. When I drive down Central and it's nighttime, of course, you can see in the windows, and it's always packed. So congratulations on having a very successful business.
Thank you.
And then she wants a picture. Thank you. Okay, next we have our Mayor's Home Beautification Award for January. I'd like to call up Ralph and Melinda Esposito. They live on Verdugo Avenue. They're going to be showing a picture on the screen of your beautiful home.
Oh, you are?
Yes, we are. There it is. I'd like to thank you for your continued improvement and maintenance of your home, resulting in substantial contributions to the overall appearance of our community. So there's a certificate. We also have a picture of your home.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. We have 2 lapel pins. And we have 2 pen sets.
Oh, wow.
All these gifts, huh? But now next is the coveted yard sign.
Oh, definitely.
So now, who takes care of your home? Who does the maintenance?
I used to, but
Not anymore?
now we have somebody helping.
We're both at an age that it's hard on us now. At the most, I spray weeds. I have a gardener.
Well, I understand. Well, thank you so much for your beautiful home. And
Thank you.
Obviously, that you care for our community.
Yes.
Would you like to say a few words, Heather?
Go ahead.
No, just
She's a
that
speaker.
just that we're blessed, and living here in Chino has been an answer to prayers for all of us and my family, and love our home, and it's paid for. So there you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Here's your sign. How long have you lived in Chino?
20 years.
20 years.
We lived in San Dimas first, and then we sold and we rented at Eagle Canyon for a year. We liked Chino, so then we bought on Heather Circle. We liked it. But then we lived our dream. We moved to Italy for 9 years.
Oh, my God.
And then we came back, and we bought here on Verdugo, and that was 16 years ago. So we are blessed.
Well, thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
She'll get a picture. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very nice. Whoops, very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you. Now, that's really something. You moved to Italy, the dream of your life, and then you come back to Chino. That's pretty cool. Okay, we did have closed session prior to the council meeting. I'd like to ask our attorney to give us a report out of that meeting.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The City Council met in closed session, as announced by the mayor, to discuss the single item listed on the closed session portion of the agenda, namely conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, the matter of Harvey Allen II versus Chino Police Department and additional parties. City Council received a briefing, provided unanimous direction, and no further reportable action was taken. That concludes the report out of closed session, Mayor.
Thank you, Fred. City Manager Wright, do we have any additions or revisions of our agenda?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay. We do have an information item within our agenda on our legislative update. I encourage you all to access through our online website and read that. Next, under public announcements, join us for the next and last installment of City Hall on the Move series at Stater Brothers, 4721 Riverside Drive on January 20th from 9 a.m. to noon. City Hall on the Move is a pop-up outreach series that brings city staff and council out of City Hall and into the community. This is your chance to speak directly with elected officials and city management, share your thoughts, and get insights on topics that matter to you. Also, be sure to mark your calendars for an exciting new winter event, Chino. This Frosty Festival is scheduled for January 27th and will be hosted at the Ayala Park Operations Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Gather your family and friends for a memorable snow day filled with fun activities like sledding and snowman building, in addition to crafts and tasty treats from a variety of food vendors. Spots are filling up fast. Secure your spot now by registering at www.cityofchino.org/chilichino. Next, the city invites residents to an informative public education presentation on the upcoming tax initiative, Measure V, on Tuesday, January 30th at the Preserve Community Center located at 15800 Main Street. This measure aims to address critical infrastructure needs and maintain essential public services. Join city officials and community members in a detailed discussion about Measure V. Engage with experts, ask questions, and learn how this measure will impact the city's future. For more in-depth information, please visit www.cityofchino.org/Measure V. And lastly, sadly, we will be adjourning tonight's meeting in memory of an individual who left an indelible mark on our community. It's with great sadness that we announce the passing of Chino Police Department Community Support Team volunteer Gus Waibenga, who passed on December 24th, 2023 at the age of 95. Gus joined the community support team in 2000 and continued to volunteer for over 15 years. He volunteered at countless community events, assisted in different departments, and received several awards for dedicating thousands of volunteer service hours over the years. Gus served in the military and had a career as a dairyman. He was an active member of Chino Kiwanis Club and a Chino Neighborhood House board member. Gus was survived by his wife, Cornelia, of 74 years, who also sadly passed away a couple of weeks after Gus. On behalf of our entire city council, we send our prayers to the Waibenga family during this very difficult time. Next on our agenda is public comment. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council about items that are not elsewhere on the agenda. We'd love to hear your concerns, but I do have to tell you we cannot take action on anything that's not on the agenda. Our first written request to speak is Chaplain Joey Padilla from the Chino Valley Fire District. Now, Joey's going to lead us in an invocation, so I invite all of you who would like to join us to please stand.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this evening, Lord, and we ask that you show yourself this evening in this. May you have your hand upon each and every item on this agenda, Lord. May you just have your way. May you speak to every person's heart in here, Lord, and may voices be heard, Father, but at the same time, may your will be done, Lord. So we just thank you for this evening. We bless, again, the agenda, Lord, and the entire council, Lord, and we ask that you just be with them as they make their decisions and as they just hear out the public and or any other matters on the agenda. So we love you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joey. Next written request to speak is Melissa Campani from Supervisor Hagman's office.
Well, good evening, Mayor Ulloa, council members, staff, and of course, community members. My name is Melissa, and I have a couple of announcements that Supervisor Hagman has asked me to share. And I wanted to let the citizens here of our beautiful city of Chino know that the document shredding event is happening in our next door city, in the city of Chino Hills. It is a very popular event. I know that people in Chino actually love to attend, and they've been saving up all those shredding documents. I just know they've got them in their garage ready to go. And it's coming up quick. This is going to be taking place Saturday, January the 27th from 9 a.m. to noon or until the trucks reach capacity. The location for this event will be at the shops. There's an overflow parking lot, and you'll see the cars kind of lined up. The address is not the actual one, but it's close to. It's 13920 City Center Drive, and that is in Chino Hills. This is a free event for residents of San Bernardino County only. And I would like to say that if you pre-register, it is very helpful. This is just information. It doesn't get you a better spot in line. However, it keeps those lines moving smoothly so that we can serve everyone in a quick manner. So if you can pre-register at Hagman, Hagman, shred 0124.eventbrite, eventbrite.com. Like I say, it will be very, very helpful. If you have any questions, you can please contact Supervisor Hagman's local office there in Chino Hills. We'd be happy to answer any questions at 909-465-5265. And one other announcement, Supervisor Hagman has recently kind of revamped his Business of the Quarter program, and it's going to be a new program, a new rollout. And so we're asking if you know of an outstanding business to please nominate that business on Supervisor Hagman's webpage. This is the 4th District Distinguished Business Award, and it's going to be a program that honors our local businesses for their contributions to our economy and community. So if you know an outstanding business that maybe also spends a lot of time assisting the community, those are nice. That's what we'd really, really like to hear about. And he knows that businesses, especially small businesses, are a vital part of our community, providing innovation, services, revenue, employment, and community participation. And Supervisor Hagman will be part of this program and personally congratulate the outstanding business that is selected and present them with a certificate of recognition from his office. So we've got a little scanner here. If you want to scan and nominate some businesses, we'd love to hear from you. And I'm getting the jump on this, Chino. We want as many businesses as possible from Chino to go ahead and be nominated. I look forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. Next, we have Julia Cabrera from the Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julia Cabrera, representing the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce. This month, we are back to our business workshops, but they're modified, so we're only doing 2 every month for the rest of the year. The rest of the days will be filled with business mixers. But tomorrow morning, we're excited to hear from Chief Menson speak to our business community tomorrow, and that will be hosted at the Chino Hills Community Center starting at 7:45 a.m. And this month, we are also hosting a mixer in partnership with the Chino Commercial Bank. That will be on January 25th at 5:30 p.m. So everyone is welcome to attend, meet some fellow business owners, and get to learn more about the Chino Commercial Bank as well. Earlier this month, we hosted a roundtable at the Chino Hills Marketplace to hear from the businesses in that center. And although in Chino Hills, we had city staff from Chino attend as well and give some insightful feedback to the business owners there, for which we are very thankful for. The businesses had faced a lot of challenges that they were able to share, so we appreciate the partnership with Chino as well, coming to show some support to them. We've also been working with Chino PD and finding ways to collaborate on preventing retail theft locally. So we appreciate that partnership with Chino PD, and we appreciate them using their resources to support the safety of our businesses as well. And finally, this year for the cohort of the 2023-2024 Leadership Collaborative, we are grateful to have 3 members from Chino City staff be part of the leadership program as well. And I'll embarrass him because he's up here, but we have Councilmember Curtis Burton here as part of our leadership program. And so we hope they're enjoying it, but we know that having that collaboration of different industries and getting people the opportunity to meet with city staff from Chino is really impactful for just the people in the cohort, but also the organizations that we're touring as well. So that's it for all of my announcements. We're a little bit light on events this month, but we're prepping and planning for the rest of the year this month, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Erin Kelleher from the Chino Police Officers Association.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, members of our community here. I wanted to come before you tonight, not that you're not already aware, but some people aren't, about an important measure that's coming up before our community here. We wanted to share with you your local public safety's viewpoints on the matter. So as many of you know, Measure V is an important tax measure that's going before the voters on March 5th. We wanted to take an opportunity to share with our residents that the Chino Police Officers Association, the Chino Police Management Association, along with the Chino Valley Professional Firefighters, all strongly endorse the measure. We are all aware of how difficult of financial times that the city is in. The state mandates that we face on a daily basis in public safety also trickle down to other city affairs like storm waters and things like that. The inflation is causing massive disruptions to the city budget, and we're all aware that our vital public safety funding is under threat. This measure helps to address that. It helps to add additional public safety funding and funding for vital infrastructure like our roads that keep our businesses moving, our parks for our youth to have options, and ongoing essential city services. This measure is vital for the continued success of this city. And your associations, your police officers associations, your police management association, your fire association, they are all dedicated to the safety of this community. Whether it be through donations, whether it be through out working the community, our Kids, Cops, and Santa program we just concluded over the holidays where we're out there spreading Christmas cheer. These are all donations. These are all things that we are actively engaged in this community for because we love this community. We've been a part of it. We will continue to be a part of it. We will do everything in our power to protect and represent this community in a positive manner. But we also thought it was very important for us to come before the public and share with the public our support for this vital, vital measure. So if you want more information, please visit the website, voteyesonv.com. That's voteyesonv.com, or the COPS, the number 4 Chino, cops4chino.com. That will have all kinds of information on there. We look forward to talking with our community, and to that end, right now, our members are out walking in the community right now, sharing our viewpoints on this message and asking for our residents' help, because we do need our residents' help so that we can get through this, so we can keep Chino a great place to work, play, and live. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Those are the only written requests I have to speak this evening. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council about any item that is not on the agenda? Yes, come on up, please.
Hello. I just wanted to say real quick about like the Measure B, all the events you guys are having. Like, I really appreciate that, because I went to the last one at the police station, and I kind of thought I knew everything from the planning commission meeting I came to, but it's more information, more information. It's just better to be an educated voter, and everyone that's saying things on social media, I'm like, you need to go to a meeting. You need to go. You need to ask your questions. And I know I might have asked some questions that you guys didn't like. Mr. Burton addressed it right away, which, you know, that's the purpose of these things. And also the Chino on the Move, great. My son met you. He's only 10 years old, Mayor. He went home saying, I met the mayor of Chino. So, you know, even the little kids get a blast out of seeing you guys. Making yourself visible to the public is huge. You know what I mean? Making yourself available like that. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing for transparency purposes for this Measure V. Thank you for that. And I don't know who I have to thank for patrolling Chino High this morning. It was amazing to have cops out there. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very
Mayor,
much.
you may want to ask for a name for the record.
Sharon, do you want to give your name for the record, please?
My name is Sharon Duran.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. I am going to ask that item number 8 and 11 be pulled for discussion. Does anyone else need any items pulled? Okay, then I would ask for a motion and a second for the balance of the consent calendar. Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Flores, second by Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Please vote. Okay, the balance of the consent calendar passes unanimously. Item number 8 is the Cow Home Program grant funding. The reason why I ask this to be pulled is because this funding is for a specific segment of our community, and I would like staff to talk about that a little bit to make sure people understand what this is for.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Tracy Rossetti Smith with the Development Services Department. Staff submitted an application to the California Department of Housing and Community Development for CalHome funding in the amount of $600,000. In November of 2023, the city received a conditional award notice. These funds will enhance the city's home improvement loan program by providing forgivable home improvement loans to owners of manufactured homes in need of repairs. HCD gave priority to applicants proposing to service manufactured homes. This benefits the city to aid in filling a gap in services to our manufactured home communities, as currently we are limited to the availability of city grant funds. In the past, the city successfully administered over $1 million in Cal Home funds, providing assistance to 41 families. Housing staff works closely with the 5 mobile home parks in the city and will communicate the availability of these new loan funds to the park managers. Most applicants are referral-based by management and word of mouth from other residents that we have assisted. In addition to the referrals, outreach is conducted through the Senior Center, counseling programs, and the city website. Staff revised the home improvement program policy to update the Cal Home program and discretion in loan amounts necessary to accommodate the continued escalating costs of contractor labor and materials. Upon approval of the grant, we will implement these changes. That concludes my report, if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. We have several mobile home parks in our community, and many of those coaches are getting very, very old and are needing a repair. And many of those residents are on fixed incomes, so I thought it was very important to make this publicly known that we have some available funding for those homes. Anyone want to make any comments?
I have a question.
Karen, sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff, do we also, in addition to, since they're referral-based, do we go to the mobile home parks, make sure we contact the property manager and let them know that those grants are available as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
On a regular basis, and we have residents who maybe have qualified for the grant program.
Good.
And we're in the community quite often.
Okay.
So absolutely.
That being said, I want you to make it your goal to help everybody who's eligible for those funds and see to it that they receive it and are able to improve their properties. It's great for them and great for our community as well, great for our parks.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other comments or questions? Okay, then I would need a motion and a second, please, for item number 8. Motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 11 is the Lennar Homes Settlement Agreement Second Amendment. I'd like a staff report on this, please, and then I'd like to explain why I asked to have it pulled.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Jesus Plasencia. I'm the Assistant City Engineer in the Public Works Department. So on November 15, 2022, the city and Lennar Homes entered into a settlement agreement for various residential tracts that included the construction of accessibility elements like sidewalk and curb ramps that were constructed in accordance with the American Disabilities Act and California law. The agreement settled disputes associated with these public improvements constructed between the mid-2000s all the way up to 2020 that were not accepted by the city because they were not considered compliant with accessibility requirements. So on January 17, 2023, the city approved addendum number 1 to the settlement agreement, and this addendum added improvements to be completed by Lennar at the northeast corner of Fern and Eucalyptus Avenue, which were required as part of conditions of approval for residential tract 18972. So the intersection improvements include curb ramps, sidewalk, parkway landscaping, and they were going to include enhanced crossings that were going to be constructed instead of a traffic signal. However, city staff later received direction from the council regarding the intersection improvements, specifically as it relates to the construction of a traffic signal at the intersection in lieu of enhanced street crossings. Based on this direction and after further discussion with Lennar, city staff is proposing a second amendment to the settlement agreement wherein the traffic signal and the intersection improvements are to be constructed by the city as part of a CIP project, estimated to cost $600,000, with Lennar paying the majority of the costs in the sum of $553,500. City staff plans to put the CIP project out to bid this month, with construction anticipated to be completed before the end of the calendar year. Funds to be collected from Lennar will be deposited into the city's Development Impact Fee program, since that's where funds are going to be used for construction of the project. And then lastly, the settlement agreement also formalizes an update to the quantity of sidewalk and curb ramps that Lennar is responsible to pay the city for future construction to address ADA noncompliance. This update was needed because it was determined that certain sidewalk and ramps actually are on private property, so they didn't need to be part of the city's future scope of work. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. The reason why I asked to have this pulled is it took quite an effort of staff to come up with a settlement agreement with all of the developers within the preserve to come up with the cost to fix all of these items that had been delayed for years. We told the public that we would track that funding and have an accountability for it. I just want to make sure that the funding coming from these settlement agreements are a line item within our budget, that we can show how much money has come in and exactly where it's being spent. I don't want this money siphoned off and spent in other areas of the city, in spite of the fact that maybe those priorities are higher. This settlement money is to be spent in a certain area, and I want to be able to assure that we have total compliance and visibility of it.
Yes, this funding that's going to be obtained from Lennar would go specifically for the construction of the traffic signal at Eucalyptus and Fern.
Okay, so if we're ever queried, I want to be sure that the money coming in from those settlements is tracked to where it's being spent. Thank you very much. Sure.
Yes.
Any questions of staff or comments? Okay, then I would need a motion and a second to approve item number 11. There's a motion from Councilman Lucio, a second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. Item number 11 passes unanimously. Next, under public hearings, we have item number 12, Eucalyptus Business Park Specific Plan Amendment PL 23-0057. This is a land use matrix amendment to allow community education for minors as a conditionally permitted use within the commercial office land use designation. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and ask for a staff report from our Associate Planner, Kim Lee, and our Director of Development Services, Warren Morleone.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Before you tonight is an amendment to the Eucalyptus Business Park Specific Plan to allow community education for minors in the commercial office land use designation and to establish parking standards for the school use. In March of 2023, the applicant Heights Christian School submitted a special conditional use permit concurrently with this specific plan amendment to establish a private school in an existing 14,172 square foot building on the existing Verve City Church campus located at 14670 Ramona Avenue. On November 15th, 2023, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the specific plan amendment and approved the special conditional use permit to establish the school contingent on the approval of the specific plan amendment by the City Council. Currently, community education for minors is only permitted in the commercial land use designation of the Eucalyptus Business Park Specific Plan, subject to the approval of a special conditional use permit. The proposed amendment would allow community education for minors in the commercial office land use designation within the specific plan, with the approval of a special conditional use permit, and is consistent with how the use is permitted throughout the city. An amendment to the parking requirements is also being proposed to establish parking requirements for the school use, consistent with the parking requirements for schools in the city's zoning code. Staff is recommending that the council approve the specific plan amendment. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Kim. Warren, do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am, she did a good job.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll turn it over Oh, yes, sir. Come on up.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to consider this. We were here before you back in the spring to get to submit our bond request. The subsequent purchase went through. Appreciate your cooperation with that, and we're anxious to continue with building this school. As I mentioned once before, we operate other Christian schools in Orange County, LA County, San Bernardino County. We have 2 campuses in Chino Hills. We're a nonprofit 501c3 California corporation, and we very much appreciate your consideration in this matter.
Can you please state your name for the record, please?
Thank you. Claude Lamar.
Thank you very much. Any questions of the speaker? Thank you very much for coming this evening. Anyone else like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll turn it over to council comments. No? Okay, then I would encourage a motion and a second for item number 12.
And if I may read the,
I have to get the motion first, Fred. You jumped the gun this time.
I knew you would call me.
Okay, it's not showing up. Is there a motion and a second? There it is. Okay, I have a motion from Councilman Flores and second from Councilman Burton. Mr. Attorney, would you like to read the ordinance now?
Thank you for remembering, Mayor. Before the council is ordinance number 2024-001, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, amending the Eucalyptus Business Park specific plan to allow for community education for minors to be a conditionally permitted use within the commercial office C/O land use designation, and to establish off-street parking requirements for community education for minors, PL 23-0057, Eucalyptus Business Park Specific Plan Amendment. That is being read by title only and waiving for the reading. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would like to ask for a vote, please. And the item passes unanimously. See, Fred, I caught you that time. Item number 13, Second Amendment to the Hillsborough Development Agreement. This item is to conduct a public hearing to approve an amendment to the development agreement with Hillsborough Phase 3 LLC. I'd like to ask for a staff report for our attorney, but first I will declare the public hearing open.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and everyone present. Before the council is a recommendation from the Planning Commission to consider an amendment, a second amendment to the Hillsborough Development Agreement. The applicant, Hillsborough Phase 3 LLC, is the current owner of the Hillsborough Village Senior Citizen Apartment Complex. It's a 196-unit senior citizen apartment complex, which was approved by the city in September 1985. In November 2019, the council approved a development agreement for construction of an addition to the existing development, which consists of a 3-story, 62-unit senior citizen apartment building, including affordable housing units. The development agreement requires all the units within the 62-unit expansion to be age-restricted to persons 55 years of age or older. 4 of the 62 units per that original agreement are to be made affordable for moderate-income households, and 6 affordable to low-income households. The development agreement also required the applicant to complete construction by March 31st, 2021. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic causing delay in construction, region-wide, the applicant applied for an amendment to the development agreement in April 2021 to extend the required completion of the project to March 31st, 2024. The council approved that amendment, which also required the applicant to dedicate 2 additional units within the project for occupancy by low-income households. Subsequently, the applicant has encountered additional delays in the construction of the project due to the property owner's director of construction facing medical issues. As a result, the applicant has submitted a request via an application dated September 7, 2023, to once again amend the development agreement for an additional extension of time. The applicant is requesting for an additional year so that it would allow until March 31st, 2026 to complete the construction of the project. As I mentioned, the Planning Commission reviewed the proposed amendment on December 2023 and recommended that the council approve the amendment by a 6-0 vote with one Planning Commission member absent. The Planning Commission also approved a 1-year extension to the project entitlement. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I will note there is a minor typo in the draft ordinance before you. In the first whereas clause, there's a reference to the date when the development agreement, the first amendment to the development agreement was approved, that is missing the last digit of the year. That was approved on October 19th, 2021. And that concludes the report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Fred. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, then we will close the public hearing and turn it over to council comments. Are there any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, then I would request a motion and a second to approve this item. Bless you, Linda. Okay, we have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and a second from Councilman Burton. Mr. Attorney, would you please read the ordinance?
Thank you, Mayor. Before the council is ordinance number 2024-002, entitled An Uncodified Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, approving the Second Amendment to the Development Agreement by and between the City of Chino and Hillsborough Phase 3 LLC for the development of a senior housing project. And again, that's being read by title only and waiving further reading. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, council members, please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Item number 14, site approval PL 17-0082, annexation to the lighting district number 2002-1, annexation zone number 88. This item is to approve resolution number 2024-001, ordering the annexation of PL 17-0082 into the landscape and lighting district number 2002-1. Annexation Zone Number 88, located at 14085 Magnolia Avenue. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and ask for a staff report from our Assistant City Engineer, Jesus Plasencia, and our Director of Public Works, Hajan Lee.
Thank you, Mayor. On October 21st, 2019, the city's Planning Commission conditionally approved a special conditional use permit and site approval to allow Manifest Destiny Trucking Corporation to construct a 2,117 square foot office building and establish a trucking facility on 4.5 acres of land located at 14085 Magnolia Avenue, which is at the northeast corner of Edison and Magnolia Avenue. The conditions of approval for the project required the construction of public improvements along the property frontage along both Magnolia and Edison in accordance to the municipal code. The conditions of approval also require the owner to annex the property into the city's landscape and lighting district to levy an annual assessment for the maintenance of streetlights located in the city right-of-way along the property's frontage. So there's 2 steps to annexing a property into the lighting district. The first step was completed back on November 7, 2023, when the council approved resolution number 2023-066. This resolution declared the city's intention to annex the property into the lighting district and also approved the engineer's report, which estimates the annual assessment to be levied for the streetlight maintenance. The second step in the process is conducting the public hearing tonight. The owner has filed the required petition to be annexed into the lighting district and also filed an assessment ballot in favor of the annexation with the city clerk. The annual assessment for the property is estimated to be $280.95 for the first year. The actual assessment will be based on actual costs, which is subject to change annually to account for maintenance and energy costs, changes up to the annual consumer price index for the region. Therefore, city staff recommends the council approve resolution number 001, ordering the annexation of PL 17-0082 into the Landscape and Lighting District number 2002-1, Zone 88. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on item number 14? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. I'll turn it over to council for any comments or questions. Seeing none, then I would entertain a motion in a second. Okay, we still need a second, I believe.
It's glitching.
It's switching.
It's glitching.
It's glitching. Oh, there it is. We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and a second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. The item passes unanimously. Next, under new business, item number 15, review of citywide legislative policy. This is to review resolution number 2024-002 to approve the City of Chino legislative platform and policy updates. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Deputy City Manager, Vivian Castro.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For your consideration this evening is a proposed amendment to the citywide legislative platform and policy. The city's legislative platform and policy was adopted by the City Council on October 18th of 2022 in response to the need to establish protocols that facilitate a proactive approach to the city's legislative review and communication process in support of laws and policies of benefit to the Chino community. This policy provides for a City Council subcommittee entitled the Legislative Policy Committee, consisting of 2 council members, currently the mayor and the mayor pro tem. The committee is a Brown Act body with meetings currently held on an as-needed basis. During these meetings, staff and the city's consultants provide presentations, updates, recommended city position on legislative and policy proposals. Currently, the committee may approve these recommendations or direct staff as it deems necessary. Staff identifies priority issues and recommends official city positions on legislation and policies based on this citywide legislative platform policy. The Legislative Committee then reviews staff recommendations and provides input to staff regarding pending legislation and policies. Once positions are recommended by the committee, city staff and the committee provide reports to the City Council that include the official position on legislation. The most recent of these reports are included in tonight's agenda packet under informational items. On occasion, however, legislation is amended, new bills come to the city's attention, often from partnering agencies such as the League of Cities, or existing bills move quickly through the process, requiring the city to weigh in on the measure or issue in a timely manner. The current policy, which authorizes the committee to approve the official city position as long as these align with the adopted citywide legislative platform policy, does impact the city's ability to respond when the committee is not able to meet to take an official position. The proposed amendment authorizes city staff to approve official city positions with the qualification that the official position is consistent with the adopted policy. A redlined copy of the proposed amendments, which are on the very last page of the legislative platform and policy, has been provided to you. The amendment also requires the committee or city staff to report to the council on positions, updates, recommendations, or action taken at the earliest feasible upcoming regular council meeting. These amendments being proposed to you this evening were reviewed by the Legislative Policy Committee at its January 9th meeting. The committee directed staff to bring the proposed updates to council with approval as their recommendation. Staff requests that the City Council adopt Resolution 2024-03, which revises the citywide legislative platform and policy. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you very much, Vivian. Council comments, questions on this item? Karen?
Thank you, Mayor. I first want to thank staff for the work they put into this policy revision. Also, I would like to talk about the subcommittees and that practice and those policies. When we're looking at things particularly like legislative bills that are running through Sacramento, although I think the city of Chino is blessed and we are fortunate to have a great team up here in the city council, occasionally, it shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody, we have some of us have an opposing perspective or a different opinion on something. And I've always said that I think a dissenting opinion helps us to arrive to the best decision-making process whenever we're looking at something. So although I do see the need to change this policy, and I really enjoy how we are doing the legislative committee right now. It helps us work more cohesively with our lobbyists in Sacramento as well as staff while we're tracking the boatload of policy that the legislature will review every year. I think it's also good for us to bring back these policies so that individual council members, should they, even though we may agree to support or oppose it, may also be allowed to speak to that and state their perspective on it at different times. So those are my comments, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I have a comment, Mayor. Again, thank you to our staff for putting this together, and I agree with Mayor Pro Tem Karen Comstock that, I like the way we're approaching this now in terms of the legislation that's coming through, right, passing everything through our committee. Just in terms of like speaking of dissenting opinions, when I was reading this staff report, I guess the only question I had was in terms of authorizing the city staff to approve the official city positions. Just my opinion is that, and I guess this is up for discussion, that I think that decision, again, when the committee can't get together, should be made by the mayor. I think that the mayor should make that ultimate decision for many reasons. And I think, primarily when you look at the letters we send, right, it's the mayor's signature at the bottom. It's not the city staff signature. And I think for a majority of this legislation, I think, again, majority of this, our city staff and the council, I'm sure will agree on most of this legislation that's passing through, whether we're in opposition or in favor. There may be a few outliers, but even in those few outliers, I don't know, I do propose that, again, the mayor ultimately makes that decision as opposed to our city staff. But that's the only comment I have, Mayor.
Okay, other comments? Mark?
I do like the way we're doing it now because we know that the bills are presented at a certain time, so we look at all the bills. We look to see which ones will affect us, and then we start looking at them, at least the committee starts looking at them with staff, and then they, talk to us about them so that we have an idea of what's going on, so that it's not, I'm not getting what we used to get, which was at the last minute, oh, hey, this is gonna go up and we need, we weren't able to get you guys' opinion on this, so now we're gonna vote this way. And I think that was why this thing was created, was because these things aren't at the last minute usually. We pretty much know. It's just that if we're not on board with what these guys are proposing every few months that they come up with new bills, that it puts us behind the curve. And then when we talk to our elected officials that are up in Sacramento or even in Congress, they'll tell us that by the time it gets to us, at the time that we're trying to make our opinion known, it's already gone to the floor and they've already made their decision. And I think that's why we created this, is because we want to jump on it early on so that we could start lobbying our people earlier to let them know at least what the position of the city is. So I do like the way we're doing it now. I hope that we don't wait till the last minute for something, because in the way it's being explained to us is if we're waiting till the last minute, it's already been voted on it's just a formality. When it gets to the floor, they already know how they're gonna go. So I'm just hoping that you guys continue to be well ahead of the curve so that we can at least make some phone calls prior to them, going to go vote that day, because as we've seen, it's already a done deal. It's just a formality. But I do like the way you guys have been doing it lately. I like the changes. I like the fact that we're getting these bills earlier and that we're able to at least share our opinions with our elected officials and give them our opinions. But I appreciate all the hard work you guys have done. Thank you.
Yes, they've done an excellent job. What's happening, as we discussed, Karen and I discussed with with our legislative advocate up in Sacramento, as there are last-minute things that sometimes happen, and we can't get the policy committee together. So staff worked really hard on establishing guidelines that we would follow, that council would adopt, so that if and when anything happens at the last second, even though we've been working with the legislators, we can react quick enough to get our letters up there, because we've missed some golden opportunities. So predominantly, it'll still work the way it's been. It's just to cover those exceptions. You know, then we have staff that can jump in, go with our policy, and get the letter up there on time. Other comments? Do you have any comments, Karen?
I also think, Mayor, that having the policy just for the public's reference is also helping us to work more cohesively with our local elected officials, not just at the local level, also in Congress, giving us an opportunity to sit with them and meet with them and express our concerns. So that's ultimately what we should be doing as this board is, lobbying and advocating for local control. And I do think that this policy, this legislative policy committee is helping us to advance that. I think that's a good thing, not just for us as a council, but certainly for our residents and business owners.
Exactly. I do have one request, however, and I was looking at this again today, and I do think that we need stronger language supporting increased law against crime, because I think our policy is a bit weak on that. So I would like to see staff take that section back and toughen the language in there a little bit more to let our legislators know that we're done with this nonsense, that we would like them to stand up and be strong and pass some laws and increase the punishment on some of this stuff, because we're being victimized and our citizens are being victimized. So that's one request that I would like to have done before we sign this off.
100%, Mayor, unless you want to build a moat around the city, which I've advocated before and may pass, but maybe we shouldn't go that far with it just quite yet. I mean, you can ask my former staff. I talked about it all the time.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, I would like it tougher. And then once we do adopt this, because I would like it to come back one more time with tougher language, once we do adopt this, I would like our policy and our controls, I would like copies sent to our legislators so they know what we're looking at and what we support. Okay, so if that's okay, then do we know, could we go ahead and approve this and then have it come back to let us review it, or should we just pull it and have it come back?
Unless staff tells me there's any urgency to have it approved, you could approve it. You could either approve it tonight with a direction and call for a vote as to the addition of the item you suggested to toughen the stance on crime, or if you'd like to see the final version, just direct staff to bring it back with that amendment.
Okay, council desire. What would you like to see? Karen, what would you like to see?
Oh, I'd like to see it, and I just one more comment too. I think it's a good thing to know as well that we did learn in our last meeting that the Public Safety Committee chair has changed. That is Mr. McCarthy. I'm sorry, I don't know what area he is from, but he has traditionally been actually very, very pro-law enforcement. So I'm hoping that there is a change in that public safety, those changes continue in the Public Safety Committee to help to this point that you're speaking about right now, Mayor.
And additionally, if I may, Mayor, the Assembly Speaker, Robert Rivas, also created a select committee on retail theft, and so it is one of the, crime is one of the major items that we expect to be discussed and debated in the legislature this year. So I think it's a timely amendment for us to make.
Well, I find one thing that we learned at our meeting, Karen, and I'm going to bring it up, I'm probably going to paraphrase it incorrectly, but it just rankled me, is that the legislators chose that it would not be appropriate for business owners to protect themselves against theft, but the legislators themselves can use their campaign funds to hire personal security to protect them. I think that's very hypocritical. I mean, these businesses support themselves, their employees, they provide services, but God forbid they protect themselves and their employees. But our legislators can protect themselves.
Yes, in addition to that, Mayor, you've seen just some of the measures we're going to prevent retail theft in the city. If you drive to the Spectrum or even to Central and Philadelphia, we presently have, cameras and different things that help our business community. crime is also one of the priorities for the League of California Cities. So hopefully Sacramento will start to listen to people being exhausted and tired with the state's model and legislative policies on crime moving forward.
Okay, well, let's pull this and have it come back one more time for approval, okay? No vote. No vote. We'll have it come back with tougher language. Okay, next on the agenda is Mayor and Council reports. Item number 16 is our Planning Commission appointments. I would like to recommend the reappointment of Mr. Jimmy Alexandris and Steve Lewis, and the appointment of Vincent Lopez to the Planning Commission. Can I get a motion and a second? We have a motion from Councilman Lucio, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. Come on. And the motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, gentlemen. If you would please come up and be sworn in.
Solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
that I will well and faithfully discharge
I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd like to give each of you an opportunity to make a comment.
Yeah, I just want to thank council for your support, and this has been a wonderful trip. You know, this is, I think, my third time back, so it's like 9 years. Had a good time. Love being on the Planning Commission. I love, we've had a lot of things from the Planning Commission come before you today, so we know all the stuff that goes on in the city, and I just want to say thank you again for all the support.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, and congratulations also, our UV. I'd like to thank the mayor, obviously, first and foremost, Councilmember Burton, and the whole council. I like to say commission, council, obviously. It's an oath that we take, but it's something that we put in our hearts and our soul and our minds. We take this serious. We care for our community, for our current future, and the present and the future. Thank you for everything.
I'd like to thank Mayor Yoloa and Councilman Burton, as well as the rest of the City Council, for the opportunity. I'd also like to thank former Chief of Police Wes Simmons and current Chief Kevin Menson, and I hope I'm getting this right, Captain Nick Marotta. I hope I got the rank right. For allowing me to be on the Chiefs Community Roundtable, and I hope to do a terrific job, and thank you again.
Well, congratulations again, gentlemen. Okay, and then to finish off my report, on Thursday, December 21st, I attended Lieutenant Mark Layton's Walk of Honor, who joined the Chino Police Department as a cadet in 1990. And then I also attended the Chino DeSalter Authority Finance Committee that day. On Friday, December 22nd, I attended Isaiah's Rocks Christmas toy and food giveaway to over 800 families. Wednesday, January 3rd, I attended the Omnitrans Board of Directors meeting and the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority's Board of Directors meeting. Thursday, January 4th, I attended Chino de Salter Authority Board of Directors. Friday, January 5th, I attended the January senior birthday event. Now, two ladies that belonged to the senior center were over 100 years old. Evelyn Weaver was 101, and she is also the longest member of the senior center. And then Irene Manning turned 102. Tuesday, January 9th, I attended the Legislative Committee meeting with Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, and I attended a one-on-one with our city manager, Linda Reich. Wednesday, January 10th, I attended the mayor's prayer breakfast and the Kiwanis meeting with City Manager Reich and Chief Menson to provide education regarding our Measure V, Public Safety Roads Essential Services Protection Measure, which will be on the March 5th ballot. Thursday, January 11th, I attended the Omnitrans Administrative and Finance Committee meeting. Friday, January 12th, I attended the Southern California Water Coalition Executive Committee meeting via Zoom. And then on Saturday, I attended the Chino on the Move event held at Albertsons Market on Central Avenue. It's very nice getting out and meeting the public and being able to educate them on Measure V. We had a lot of very, very encouraging comments. Our next City Hall on the Move is this coming Saturday, January 20th, at the Stater Brothers Market on Riverside Drive from 9 to noon. I encourage you all, or as many as possible, to attend that. I would like to request this evening a recap of council members who actually attended Monday, January 8th meeting at the PD on Measure V. I read the article in the newspaper, and I understand that it was a little misleading and didn't bring out all of the comments that were made at that meeting, and I think it's very important for the public to understand comments and questions that were asked so that there is full disclosure and accountability. I'm also very concerned with, I'll say, a rumor that continues to exist out there about Measure V. There are a few opponents that are mentioning that they think this measure is going to be used for the Civic Center Master Plan. We have explained that it is not. There will be a line item tracking, should this item pass, there will be a line item in our budget tracking the income and exactly what it is being spent for. And it is not being spent for the Civic Center Master Plan. That master plan, not unlike our general plan, is a vision for the future. Whether we can achieve it or not remains to be seen, but you need to have a master plan for your community so that you know where you're going in the future and not just running in the dark. So I'd like to clarify that. And then have another item, Linda, that I would like to request be put for a discussion item on our next agenda, and that is the College Park Educational Site. I have gotten comments from the public asking what in the world is happening with that land. There was an offer from a church to buy the entire site, to put a school on it, and Lennar turned down the offer. And it was a full price offer, and they turned it down because I understand that it's Lennar's intention now to try to build homes on that property. There was a query of the area, of the people in College Park who said they absolutely did not want more homes built on that property. They were told it was going to be a school, and that's what they want to see. So I think it's time that we have a discussion item on that to clarify exactly what's happening on that property. We're supposed to be rezoning it to ensure that it stays an educational site, and I want to make sure that that is known for the public, that we are standing by our word on that. So I would like that to be an agenda item for the next agenda.
Will do, Mayor.
And that's all I have this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. Give me just a second here, get to my notes. On Monday, January 8th, I did also attend the public education meeting workshop regarding Measure V at the Chino Police Department. I found that the meeting was well attended by members of the public as well as staff. I thought there was actually a good engagement between the people at the meeting asking very, very insightful questions about the measure and why the city council chose to adopt to declare the fiscal emergency, and how we intended to if the measure were to pass, how the city intends to spend the money. There were certainly people in support of the measure during the course of the meeting, and certainly some people who didn't support it. And I just want to state that I think that's one of the great things about the democracy. We don't expect everybody to vote on this item. We certainly want to make sure that voters are educated about the measure itself and what's at stake for the future of public safety, roads, and essential services to the city of Chino. That's certainly all we're asking in any of these education meetings that we're hosting at the current time. So I thought it was a good mix of questions by residents. I thought it was a good dialogue between our staff and the attendees. And I thought, as Ms. Duran stated here this evening, that largely our staff was able to, in a very well-articulated manner answer people's questions about the measure. As you know, Mayor, our job in these educational meetings is to not tell people how to vote, to certainly make sure that people, when they go to the ballot, are educated on the measure and what's at stake, moving forward to our essential services. And as you have stated, Mayor, it's not like we're going to close up City Hall and go home if it doesn't pass, but we will certainly have to retool our service levels moving forward. It's not something you'll see right away. You'll see it 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the road. And we have the opportunity to change that course of that right now, which is what we're asking the voters of the city of Chino to consider. On Tuesday, January 9th, I attended the legislative policy meeting with, obviously, the mayor already mentioned it, and our staff. We reviewed many bills being vetted with the assistance of our lobbyist, Jason Gonzalez, and our team. And as you heard tonight, we will continue to track the legislation and advocate on behalf of the city as this proposed legislation makes its way through Sacramento. I am very happy to hear that we continue to take a forceful stand in support of our business owners and residents and the impact of that crime, specifically retail crime, is having to our community. And Mayor, I'm happy we returned that policy tonight to strengthen it up, and I'm very proud to be a member of that committee. On Wednesday, January 10th, I attended the monthly fire board meeting in Chino Hills at their administrative headquarters. Chief Williams, your team continues to do an amazing job. It was a nice evening for you guys, getting the final approval for your new station up in Chino Hills with the support of the Chino Hills City Council. In fact, there's some fire board members here tonight. I see board member Howie in the back. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Chief, for all the work your men and women do, the fire district. And we're very blessed to have your team providing those essential services to our community. Tonight, I attended also a meeting with Councilmember Flores and our city attorney on matters of mutual interest, which brings me to this evening, where I attended the closed session along with the rest of the council, the city attorney, and our staff. For me, Mayor, if you're attending to plan City Hall on the Move, as you discussed January 20th at the Stater Brothers, I will be there. Please come out, meet our staff, meet some members of city government, ask questions, hold us accountable. Hold us accountable for what it is this measure means and represents. Ask us the hard questions that we want. That's what we want. That's what we expect. And I've always told people, hey, it's okay to hold your local elected officials accountable and ask those questions and find out exactly what it is we're trying to accomplish. And as the mayor stated, we're trying to chart a vision for the future of the city of Chino and what we want to look like and something that we want to be proud of in the future. To the Wybinga family, I worked with Gus, not necessarily his wife, for a lot of years, but Gus was a great man. I was very saddened to learn of his passing, but he lived a full life. He talked about some of the proudest moments of his life, being deployed into the military and coming back and working as a dairyman. He was very proud to be a member of our volunteer staff at the Chino Police Department. Gus went on tons of ride-alongs, assisted at many, many events, and volunteered hundreds of hours of this community. I will miss his voice and his service to our community, and my sympathy goes to the Wybenga family. Last, I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. I'm looking forward to having a constructive year with our staff and our teammates here in the City Council so that we may continue to bring good local governing to the residents and the business owners of Chino. This concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Burton.
Thank you, Mayor. On the 20th of December, I attended the Planning Commission meeting. 21st, I also attended Lieutenant Mark Layton's Walk of Honor. He had an outstanding career with the Chino Police Department, over 30 years there. Did an amazing job. Very, very proud of what he accomplished over the many years that he was there. So good luck to Lieutenant Layton. The 22nd, my family and I joined the police department on the Kids, Cops, and Santa sleigh and toured the city, and we had a great time. On the 5th of January, I attended the Chamber Leadership Collaborative that I'm part of now, the 6th City Hall on the Move at the Stater Brothers Shopping Center at Schaefer and Euclid. On the 8th, I also attended the community meeting at the police department with the Mayor Pro Tem. And my comments on that meeting were that I think that, number one, it was very well attended for what it was, and the overwhelming majority of the people that came in had many, many questions that I believe were all answered at that meeting. There were no questions that I heard of after the fact. People were there waiting to be able to get that information and get it clearly. Ms. Duran, thank you for being there. You had mentioned, there's questions that we don't like. I would disagree. We encourage questions to come in so that we're better able to educate our public as to what's going on, because ultimately it will be the voters' decision on how this is going to be and what the outcome is going to be. Our media tends to put their own spin on things. You look on social media, you look at our own, Chino Champion newspaper at times, and again, everybody puts their own spin on what they think is being said. I look at the article that the Chino Champion had written in reference to the meeting at the police department, and they said that this meeting was less than alarming. Well, that alarms me because I believe that our city council has done a great job and our city staff has done a great job in explaining why we are in the situation that we are in now. Unless I've misinterpreted that, but other little buzzwords they come up with are, we want to encourage people to vote that way rather than, the truth is, we want to educate so that the public has a very, very good understanding of what's going on within the city and where we lie at this point in time. So that's my thought. I think everybody was very supportive. The overwhelming majority of the people were for the issue. As a matter of fact, there were a couple of people that thought we were not asking for enough, thought we should have probably put more of a percentage on that measure. So I thought it went very, very well. On the, let's see, the 9th, I met with a business owner in regards to Measure V. On the 10th, I met with another citizen regarding Measure V. The Cultural Arts Foundation meeting I attended, and that concludes my report, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Flores.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On the 22nd of December, I attended Isaiah's Rock's Christmas toy and food giveaway. So thank you for everybody who came out. Chief, Isaiah's Rock had nothing but great things to say about you and your team who came out and participated, so we appreciate that. We did have a couple kids say, hey, where's a fire truck? I said, hey, maybe we'll get one here next year. On the 3rd of January, I attended my first Kiwanis play read-through. Me and a couple other people are going to be starring in the upcoming Kiwanis play. And so I'm excited about that. A former chief, Wes, is going to be in the play as well. He has one of the main character roles there, so we're excited for that. And for you guys to take note, the opening night is February 1st, 2024, so looking forward to that. I only have 8 lines, that's why I took the role. On the 13th of January, I attended the City Hall on the Move here at Albertsons, here on Central Avenue. And just to kind of attest to some of the comments that were made earlier, that was a common question I got, when I was there, the mayor was there as well, is, is this evening enough? I think another reoccurring question that, I heard while some of our residents were talking to our staff and to myself is, why didn't you guys, the city, come to us sooner? So, those are just some positive questions that, were being asked. And I got to say, just a huge compliments to our staff. You guys are out there, dedicating your time on Saturdays, and, you're out there for 4 or 5 hours, from putting up the tent to answering the questions to taking all the tents down. We're really meeting with, with all the service clubs, and just, again, we're putting the rubber to the road, and, the people definitely see that. So thank you, Linda, and thank you to our staff who, who's at, each and every one of those sitting on the Move events. And last couple things I want to mention is on the 3rd of February is Run for Russ 5K. So I'm sure maybe the chief is going to touch on that, but just encouraging the community to come out, support, and get your exercise in for the day. That concludes my comments, Mayor.
Okay, Councilman Lucio.
Mine's going to be short. I was attending a lot of different events for my son. This is our busy season for wrestling, so a lot of the weekends we were doing different tournaments. So I didn't attend some of the city halls on the moves, and I apologize for that. On the 9th, I attended a meeting with the assistant city manager. On the 10th of January, through the 12th of January, I attended the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas with my wife. And then we went to go look basically at any, she's junior Sarah Connor, so we went to go look at anything having to do with, emergency preparedness, see if anything was that we could use for the city and she could also use for the county. So we saw a lot of interesting things, but, some of the things that we also saw is obviously the stuff that's coming out in the future. We saw a flying car that they're already prototyping, so it has propellers in the front and the back, and they're already preparing for vehicles that are going to be flying. Then we saw a bunch of the new technology that was coming out for vehicles. It's all electric, it's all autonomous, and even to the point where one vehicle didn't even have a steering wheel. You're going to punch in where you want to go, and it has 4 seats that are like captain chairs, and you could turn and face each other, the back seat and the front seat. So they don't even plan on people driving. That's at least the technology that they were showcasing over there. But it was interesting. To see what the future is going to hold. But everybody was there and everybody has electric vehicles, from Mercedes to Hyundai, and vehicles that turn and you can drive diagonally, or the rear wheels turn and you can park in difficult parking. It was amazing. People should really go look at this technology show, with the things that they have there, and obviously for emergency preparedness, they have a lot of different generators and solar powered, so that if the lights go out and you need to power your home, you can do so. And it's something that everybody needs to see. On the 16th, I attended another meeting with the city manager, which was today. And one of the things I wanted to touch on, so District 3, we're going to have two meetings coming up for Measure V. The first one's going to be on Tuesday the 23rd, and that's going to be located at the Commons in College Park. And the address is going to be 6325 Eucalyptus Avenue, and it's going to be at the clubhouse. And it'll start at 5 o'clock and go till 7:30, or until people are done asking questions. But we're going to be in College Park for the College Park residents. And then the mayor also mentioned that on the 30th, which is also Tuesday, we'll be at the community center in the Preserve, which is 15800 Main Street, and then we'll be there from 6 to 8 to answer any questions in the Preserve. So we're going to make sure we hit those areas. And I also wanted to bring up something that the mayor had mentioned, and that was about the land that was designated to be a school there in College Park. And I've had numerous conversations with the HOA, and the HOA has you know, they had told me, and I've ensured them, and I'm glad that you mentioned it here, that Lennar had told them that we were all on board with them building homes there, and that is the furthest from the truth. We have never had conversations with them, or even, I don't think they've even come to us and asked that, so it's definitely not the truth. We've always said that was going to remain a school. So we definitely want to make sure that the community knows that we haven't changed our plans from that, even though the developer may not be telling the HOA the truth. I just want to let you guys know in an open forum, they're not telling you the truth if they're telling you that we've already agreed to let them build houses there. That is not true. I also want to thank staff on the signal that's going to be going in on Eucalyptus and Fern. That's as a result of several citizens that live across the street from the park there that have elderly parents that cross the street there, but because there's no real signal there, the cars seem to fly through there, so the signal will allow them to have the vehicle slow down so that our elderly people that live in that community don't walk as fast as some of our younger folks can get across the street safely. Because I've had several emails from people saying that they have some concerns about their parents crossing the streets there. And obviously, they're crossing the street because of the park and they want to walk and exercise, and obviously we encourage that. So thank you guys for getting that going for us. I really, really appreciate it. And then to touch a little bit on Measure V, you know, please come out to the meetings and we'll explain a little bit more. But, you know, you hear a lot of things from a lot of people saying, well, why don't they just cut? You can do that to a certain point, but you got to remember law enforcement costs money, fire department costs money, streets cost money. And when you want to talk about redevelopment and bringing in businesses here, and you want entertainment here, you want all these different things here, well, they want to come here knowing that this community is safe, first of all. So they want to make sure that our law enforcement is present and they're doing their jobs, which at this point we have them doing that. They also want to make sure that our fire department's here and we have some of the best save records when it comes to heart attacks than anyone in the country, and we want to make sure that that never changes. And we want to make sure our infrastructure continues to be done well and that we're forward thinking. You got to remember there's only so many developers, businesses, entertainment venues that are out there. And when you have communities like Ontario that passed a 1 cent sales tax that's bringing in $100 million that they're pouring into their city, and you have a community like Montclair north of us that has also passed a sales tax measure, and those people are investing. If you go look at the mall and the work that they're doing over there in that area and the redevelopment, and we just continue to cut, where do you think that those businesses are going to go? Do you think they're going to come here to Chino? No, they're not. They're going to go where people are investing money and then they know they're going to be safe. So when we talk about Measure V, it's really an investment in the community. And like the mayor said, everything's going to be line item, what we're going to spend, where we're going to spend it, and what we're going to do with it. But it's really ultimately up to the citizens. What kind of community do you want to live in? You want to live in a community where you can enjoy entertainment and entertainment venues come here and that we can have great shopping centers and restaurants and everything else? Well, that's going to take some money. It's going to take some investment from us. So all we want to do is educate you. Don't listen to these people that want to tell you, hey, you know what, they should just be cutting. Well, when you do that, realize what you're going to be doing in your community when you cut. You're not going to be prospering and you're not going to be growing, and especially when your surrounding cities are, because they've gone and made that investment in their communities. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. City Manager Reich,
No report tonight, Mayor.
City Attorney Galante,
No report either. Thank you, Mayor.
Chief Police Menson.
A couple things, Mayor. So first, Councilman Flores, thank you for bringing up the Run for Russ. It's been going on to honor the fallen officer Russ Miller on February 1st, 2000. And this event is a great community event taking place on February 3rd. You can register for runforruss.com. Go on, register for this event. It's a huge event that we've been taking place since he was passed, since he was killed. So I encourage people for that. So thank you for honoring Gus Weinbenga. He was a member of the department long before I came on. I remember him, his smile, his infectious smile with everyone, riding with Bill Sitton, going out, doing neighborhood checks. So truly, I mean, just a really good man. And then lastly, I want to talk about, it's come up several times, retail theft. So we concluded 2023 renter stats. So our retail theft increased in 2023 53%. So we knew this was up, and I talked about this back in November. So as we were heading into the holiday season, where we historically see a significant increase in retail theft, we made the decision to create our own internal retail theft task force. So we reassigned one detective, 2 quality of life officers, and then we had a 4th officer either on overtime or from another assignment. And between the 4 of them, we created our own retail theft task force to try to address this crime trend that was already taking place throughout the year, but is most likely going to increase significantly. So leading up to the holiday season where the shopping's taking place, they met with the loss prevention agents at the retail stores throughout the city. They partnered up with the California Highway Patrol's organized retail theft. And over the course of 5 weeks, they made 34 arrests, everywhere from petty theft to organized retail crime ring. Recovered stolen vehicles, recovered almost $9,000 in stolen property. But the biggest thing is, during this 5-week time period, we had a 12% decline in retail theft. And to put this in perspective, last year during this exact same time period, we had a 29% increase. So that was a 41% swing between 2023 and 2022. So obviously dedicating the resources temporary to be able to address this crime trend. We had kind of some feedback from one of the loss prevention agents that saw they were getting ready to, they're following some suspects that were in the process of stealing some property, and their accomplice came up and says, "Hey, we need to get out of here. There's too many cops around here." And so they packed up and they left without stealing. So mission accomplished by that team. They worked really hard to be able to address this. So we know with the resources, with the team in place, that to be able to do this long term. The challenge is obviously now is the resources, and specifically, I mean, we reassigned these officers for this 5 weeks. So that concludes my report, and I'll be able to answer any questions if there are any.
Well, we're just very, very proud of the efforts that were expended during the Christmas season. I know I saw the electronic signs warning, the people kind of, don't come around here.
We warned them, and they still came, and we arrested them, so.
Yeah, well, that's good. And, that again, in our legislative task force, I want our language to be very clear that we want the legislation to toughen up on stuff, because this is just horrendous what's happening.
There is, I became a member of the Public Safety Committee for the League of California Cities, and there is a lot of discussion on, obviously, of redoing Prop 47. And it's not a political, rather it's what side of the aisle on, it's a public safety. And so there is a lot of discussion. I met with the district attorney last week. The District Attorneys Association is looking to do, they're putting something together to do some reform on the Prop 47, because that is what is really affecting this significant increase in retail theft.
It's really sad. These laws come before the citizenry, and the way they're written, they're very misleading. And so sometimes people vote for laws not really understanding what they're doing. And boy, we're paying the price now.
Well, Prop 47, it was the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with that.
Right.
In fact, it's destroying neighborhoods and schools. Karen, did you have an additional comment?
Oh, I agree with you. I just also wanted to thank you, Chief. I was aware of a very serious robbery that occurred about a half a mile away from my house. I know that your team immediately sprung into action to locate those suspects. And like I say, don't come here and commit crime in the city of Chino. I understand that you had all 3 of those suspects in custody within about a 72-hour time period. I think it's terribly frightening for somebody to come home to their house and be, robbed in their driveway of their valuables. So thank you to your team for their hard work. And as I've said before, you guys do a great job, and keep up the good work. Keep telling those criminals when they come to Chino that we're going to arrest them and put them in jail and hold them accountable for their actions.
Thank you for your report.
Well, the other thing, too, I wish people would understand, if you're on your way home and you think you're being followed, don't go home.
No.
Don't go home. Call 909-628-1234 and go to the PD.
If you think somebody's following you, could call 911.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing with if you call us, we will come.
But don't take a chance, and be aware of your surroundings, and look, if there's suspicious people, don't go there. Just don't go there. Call your family at home and say, I'm not coming home yet, something's weird. Yeah, it's just crazy, and we all need to look out for each other. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Chief Williams. Welcome, we haven't seen you for a while.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Appreciate that. Just a couple things. As you had already mentioned, we're very, very excited that we got the approval from the City of Chino Hills, first planning, and then the city ultimately to move forward with our project. We're really excited. I believe we have a date penciled in right now of the 18th, I want to say, of April for our groundbreaking. So we're trying to work for that. It may change, so I see you writing, but that's what we're planning on. But we're really excited about that. We continue to move forward with our ambulance venture, and that's going well. And then I just wanted to mention two things. One for Councilmember Flores, or really for any of the council or the mayor or staff, if I see a smile coming. This is actually serious. If there's ever an event in the city and you want us there, please, please, please just make sure you reach out to our organization and we'll get somebody there. I promise you that. So our folks are really vested and want to be at those events. So that's on that. And then the other thing is I just want to mention, because I have two children, and I've told my children both this now. My daughter's 19, and my boy's going to be 17 next month. But dovetailing on Chief Menson, what he had mentioned about call 911, I will share with his community members, because the law enforcement has one building. It may be a bit of a drive. Know where your local fire stations are. If you ever feel threatened by anything, pull into a fire station and just lay on your horn and don't quit honking that thing till some firemen come out. So it's also a safe haven place for you. Your fire district fire stations are there for you. If you find yourself in a position and you're not sure what to do, but you know where the fire station is and it's a little bit distant from where the law enforcement headquarters is, you're always welcome to come in there. We'll get you the help you need as well.
Oh, well, thank you. That's good to know. Hadn't thought about that. And as far as flying cars are concerned, are you kidding me? The way people drive right now?
They're beautiful, though.
Think about it in the air. Wow, that's a scary thought. With that, we will adjourn now to Tuesday, February 6th at 6 o'clock with closed session starting no earlier than 4. With that, we are adjourned.